Gray Zone Warfare Night Ops. Let's talk about it. So I know the two most pressing questions besides actually seeing the footage of Night itself is one, when is it going to be released? We don't know right now. On the live stream that Madfinger Games held, Rick said that they are going to have a live stream with Mar himself next week talking about the roadmap itself. So hopefully we can get some rough, dates there, or actually they might even show us the whole roadmap with exact dates. I'm not for sure, but I would assume it would be some type of rough dates with when everything is going to be coming out. Two, pressing most issue that people talk about, I've seen a lot of videos and around Reddit and everything, is AI. Rick also said in a live stream by Madfinger Games that they know what the problem is. They found out what the problem was with all the aimbot AI, and they're looking and they're going to fix it. Speaking a little bit more about the AI, because I know this is a pressing issue, so I just want to get out of the way. They talked about how the AI is going to be more lifelike. Like at night, they're going to go to sleep, maybe have one guard out guarding them, and they'll be in their bunkers, houses, wherever it may be, sleeping. So that's a cool feature. And then we're going to talk about another feature later down in this video, talking about how you can even make it more advantageous for you as a player if you do have MVGs. So those are the two pressing matters I just wanted to get out of the way. So if you're looking for the release date in this video, I do not have it, but hopefully next week we will. So let's get into all the stuff we learned about what's going to happen with the Night Ops update. So these are in no order. I'm just going to talk about things that I think people will be interested in to learn about. And I'm just going to go through all the things that we learned about with the update. So the first thing I want to talk about is night vision itself. So night vision, if you actually look the live stream itself, and then I want to show some video here of just how blurry it actually is when you look through it. I guess, like I said, I have no real life experience with night vision, but apparently like with night vision itself, it's very blurry, like on close objects and stuff like that. And they're trying to replicate that in the game. We are going to have different, quote unquote, as Corey said, or Devil Dog said, different flavors of night vision. And those will be the PVS 14s, which will be like a single tube and it's green. And then we'll have the ANPVS 7 night vision, which are like two into a single tube. And then finally, we'll have the PVS 31, which is the dual tubes, and it'll have more of a whitish or bluish tint to it. Now, speaking of how we just talked about night vision itself and being blurry close up, you will be able to cant your weapons. So you'll be able to have like lasers on the side of it and then cant it and be able to aim with your lasers and stuff like that. So that is super cool, especially where they're going to add not only just regular lasers, but they're also going to have IR lasers. So that's going to be helpful with night vision and being able to use that, because obviously if it's blurry up close, it's going to be really hard to try to use, these different type of sights and stuff like that. So speaking of night vision, continuing on, so low level like pirates and stuff like that will not actually have night vision or even lasers. They'll have flashlights on their actual body, not even on their gun. But if you go to these more like advanced places like Fort and Aerith and stuff like that, there's chances that they will even have night vision themselves, and then they'll also have lasers and flashlights. So that's something you take note of when you're going to these, higher military areas. These individuals could have night vision themselves. So it's not just like you're going out there being Superman. And Corey stressed this in the actual stream itself. He said, laser night discipline is like going to be a big deal with this update. So they had footage of actually a new weapon in action, which is the MP5, which they said Rick had talked about it being one of the fan favorites that they mentioned. And the MP5 is going to be here. So that's cool to see, because MP5, just growing up as a kid playing Call of Duty and other things like that, super cool to see in the game. We also know that it's not just going to be the MP5, it's also going to be the AK Ratnik platform. We found this out a while back. If you want to watch that other video that talks about some of the stuff that we're basically going to talk about in this video, you can, I'll link it above. But they're going to add the AK Ratnik platform. And I guess it's like the modern AKs, like the AK-12 and stuff like that, which is cool because I've used it on Tarkov. Love those guns. So that's going to be cool to see. And I'm glad they're adding more than just one gun. It would be extremely disappointing if it was just like, oh, we're just adding the MP5. It's nice to see that they're adding, Rick said 3, 4, or 5 guns. So I'm not for sure if it's 3 or 5 or whatever it is, but there are going to be multiple guns added. With those weapons being added, there's also going to be rework on ammo. I know like 9mm shotguns are not performing the way they should. And then also like the 7.62 AKs were just like not really worth it at all. Now the 5.45 AKs weren't too bad, but I remember the 7.62 AKs not being very well. The ammo just wasn't pack a punch. So everybody just used the Mark 18. That's what they loaded up with. They just loaded up with Mark 18 NATO rounds and just went to town. So look forward to them reworking all that ammunition, so we'll have more options. And I like that because you'll have more options to run different things, and it gets extremely boring running the same weapon over and over again. So another cool feature coming that I actually saw, like even before the game came out in a video, but it like disappeared off the internet or I didn't see it or something like that, is these power boxes outside of the houses. So you'll be able to go up to these power boxes, you'll be able to shut off the power, and you'll be able to turn off the lights in the house and make everything dark. So this is going to be good for like the low level areas where you can go into the house, eliminate the AI. If you have, MVGs, you can go in, make it relatively easy. Obviously, if you want to shut this off and, potentially players in there and you think they might not have NVGs or they have like worse NVGs in comparison to you, this is an idea to like cut the power off, be technical and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about that. Also, if you do want to check out, I did make a short film about Gray Zone Warfare. I think this element of the game with NVGs and being able to shut the power will help me make more of the story for the next one. If you want to check that video out, it'll be at the top right of the video right now. You can check that out. I appreciate it if you do. It took a lot of work. And yeah, moving on. So speaking of NVGs and being able to go in the house and stuff like that, they did mention helmet customization, which I would imagine would be like, lasers, flashlights, obviously NVGs on your helmet and being able to use them. They didn't go into much depth about it, but they did talk about they're going to share more later about the helmet customization. So they had basically 1-to-1 to Southeast Asia, like the replication of like the stars and the constellations and stuff like that. Also, they added new like historical POIs. They talked about on the stream where they had like, Japan took over like most of like Southeast Asia, like in World War II. And they have like historical bunkers like laying around in different POIs and stuff like that. All right, the last thing I'm going to get into is like quality of life and stuff that we've wanted to see for a very, very long time. So one of the things that I've been looking forward to is loot. So valuable loot will be in the game. So I think this will help the economy a bunch and going out and searching different places, trying to find loot to pick up. Now, they also talked about vendors. So now with this loot that we're going to have across the map, vendors will actually have different stock of different things, and they will also have a limited stock of certain things. So if you're in a faction and they buy up all of the certain guns or whatever it may be, the stock can run out, and then you have to wait for them to get a resupply for them to be able to buy it. I think this helps a lot with economy and makes people just not care. Because when I was playing the game earlier, like the game just seems like you just die and it doesn't really matter because you just buy the same gun and go out with the same stuff. It's not too big of a deal. But I think this will really help out the economy with the loot items and then also the limited stock of supplies with the vendors, the different stuff that they sell. Also, they are going to rework quests. So quests are not going to be exactly the same as before. They're going to look a little bit different. It's not going to be the exact same thing like cut and dry, black and white. It's going to be a little bit different before, so you get a little bit better experience with the wipe. This update will have a wipe, which I think is a good thing because it resets the economy and everybody starting at a fresh point, and it just gives a clean slate to everyone. I think it's a lot better for everyone. So speaking of gear and running out of it, if you do run out of gear, like completely out of your stash, you'll be giving a like supply pack or like a backup package that will give you loot to be able to go out and stuff like that. Because we obviously don't have scav runs in this game because you're always on the map. So if you do run out of loot completely, you'll be able to get like a backup pack and they'll give you some gear and you'll be able to go out and do certain things, which is nice for people struggling economically. They might just want to delete all the stuff out of their stash if they don't have very much and then just get some more gear. Of course, the community on this game is amazing. I have shared thousands and thousands of dollars worth of guns with people. I'm sure you could just ask someone and they'll drop you something. But that is a nice quality of life feature. Speaking with the stash, so your stash will be able to be organized. You will have actual stash cases to be able to put weapons and items in. You'll be able to search through the stash itself and look for different things. Also, he did mention, now this is what I think he means by that. You'll be able to search through your stash to see what's compatible with maybe like a gun. So that's cool. I know when you're in a store and you can right click on the gun and it'll open up all the things that are compatible with that gun. Hopefully that's what that means, is they're adding it to the stash to where you can just left click on your gun and then everything will light up in your stash without being in the store page. They will also have quests at night. So they'll only be night quests. So quests that you have to do at night to progress through them. Now, a lot of people have been stuck on quests because of keys. Keys are being reworked and they're being more balanced. So they will be a lot easier to obtain. You will not have to wait like days, weeks, and even months and then just give up because you can't find a key. It'll be a lot easier to find. You will also have a faction chat. So you have a faction chat. So if you want to get into PvP, I know this is a big issue. You like kind of message individual people. You'll have a faction chat for each individual server. So you can just go in and say, hey, there's PvP here, or I need help this. Does anybody have a key? And it's going to be a lot easier to communicate and get help with, working on PvP or just trying to get quest help, or like, hey, can I have a gun because I have nothing? So faction chat is coming, which is a super, super nice quality of life feature. Last but not least, the most important quality of life feature, I think, outside of AI, which AI isn't really a quality of life, it's more of a gameplay issue, but with the helicopter wait times. So helicopters will spawn closer to you. So you will have like these helicopters, you'll call in a helicopter, and they will come from, a certain side of the map. So say you're at like Hunter's Paradise, it'll come from the top and pick you up. It will not come from the base and then go to you. So that is super nice. They also said they have sped up the travel of the helicopters themselves. So helicopters will be faster. So not only are they going to be coming from, every single direction of the map instead of coming straight from the base to you, they'll be coming faster as well. Also, another thing that is extremely annoying, but I have a monitor or a mixer, so it doesn't really matter, so I can just turn it down. But they're going to be able to press a button, and it's going to basically turn off your headset, where you don't have to listen to this helicopter like buzzing in your ear the whole time. So that is super nice. You can just click a button, helicopter noise is gone, because that is extremely annoying to try to turn your headset down or turn whatever it is down just to ride a helicopter. So I also did want to mention, I know I talked about the helicopters and being faster, and this is supposed to be the quality of life section, but I did want to add there are 8 new LZs and then 6 LZs that are moving. So the ones located in purple are the new LZs, and then you can see on this picture here, the ones in orange are the ones that are moving, and then they can show where they were and then where are they moving to for this new update. With that being said, guys, that is it. I will probably have a video next week, especially with Mara talking about the roadmap itself. I will have a video out soon, but I appreciate you all stopping by. I'm Jones, and I'm out. Peace.